coming in at number 86, we have Los Angeles Chargers safety Derwin James, who is just an incredibly tough guy to rank, right? As, we look back to 2018 when he came into the league, and as a rookie, Derwin James is a first-team All-Pro. Let that sink in for a second, because that's really just a remarkable achievement. Outside of the Defensive Player of the Year award, that's essentially the highest honor any defensive player can receive, and in that regard, that means there's about 850 other guys across the league on defense vying for one of 11 spots. And to me, anyhow, the sheer fact that Derwin was able to secure one of them at all, let alone as a rookie no less, is an incredibly impressive feat and truly indicative, I would say, of the level of talent that we're dealing with here. But with that being said, while we're talking about a guy that appeared to be on his way to becoming perhaps the best safety in the entire NFL, the next thing you know is a sophomore in 2019 injures his foot, plays only 5 games. And then, before last season, tears his meniscus and misses the entirety of the year. So now we're kind of here looking back at a guy that has only played 21 of a possible 48 games in his NFL career to this point, and despite having what appears to be all the talent and potential in the world, has spent 86% of his game days over the past 2 years on the sidelines in street clothes or in the training room getting treatment. Either way, unable to actualize that potential and ever really become the top guy that we thought he could be. With that being said, though, he did only just turn 25 last week, so happy belated birthday. And personally, I think I have some hope for Derwin. In that regard, I'd say this is a pretty cautiously optimistic ranking and placement on my list, but either way, all things considered, this is the make or break season for James. So with that being said, let's hop on the film and see just what it is that when Derwin is healthy makes him so special and I would say worthy of a spot on my top 100 list. The first part, I would say, of Derwin's game that made him so special was his explosive athleticism, right? And whether that's the quick first step, as you're going to see here, the acceleration, change of direction ability in a little bit, it's just really what I would say began to set Derwin apart, right? In terms of well-rounded athleticism. Not sure how many more safeties had it than Derwin James did. You're going to notice I say that in the past tense because we don't really know what this man is currently. You see some clips on Twitter of, him going stride for stride with Keenan Allen. Well, that's great and, fine and good, but, let's see him in a game rep. That's kind of the problem here. These are phenomenal plays. I could break down these plays if you guys really want me to. Look at the great acceleration there as he went up and tackled Tyreek Hill in open space. The problem is, that's a play from 2018, and we're not living in 2018 anymore, So it's just going to come down to, were these surgeries corrective, or are these injuries going to have a long-lasting effect? Because if they do, then, like I said, I think we're going to see a guy dropping on the list, because I don't expect him to be able to make some of these incredibly athletic open field tackles, whether it, is this one that saved the game on Leonard Fournette on 4th and 2, whether it was, the hard-hitting incompletion he forced against that wide receiver on the previous play, whether it's some of these reps defending the edge, right? How many safeties do you know that were able to set the edge in the entire NFL? Still to this day, not very many. But Derwin is just so strong. He's so physical at the point of attack. He's able to blitz you as well. He's essentially a 3-4 outside linebacker in a safety's body that can cover like a corner at times. And that's just a dangerous combination. You're going to see on so many of these reps, doesn't even get a target, right? Doesn't even warrant the ball being thrown in his direction because he's doing such a great job smothering, whether it's a back, a tight end, slot receiver, whoever it is. Derwin's stride for stride right in their hip pocket, running the routes with them. He's also great in terms of his zone coverage, most notably, I would say, due to the IQ and awareness, due to the reactionary quickness. You're going to see on so many of these plays coming up here just an ability to recognize when a throw's coming and then put a foot in the ground, change direction, as I was saying earlier, and undercut these plays. How many safeties do you know are backpedaling like that to make a diving backwards one-handed swat against George Kittle, right? That's a throw that against most safeties is wide open, not Derwin James. And that in large part, I would say, was due to his range. We're talking about a guy that ran a 4.47 at the NFL Combine in 2018. You saw that speed on full display when he was asked to be a deep half, deep third player, even a deep, one-on-one guy against a speedy receiver. Watch him stay stride for stride, and not only that, show off just some beautiful sort of hand-eye coordination and timing as he's able to jump and make the diving swat. Just beautiful stuff. You're going to see it again here. Sort of baits Josh Allen to throw this ball, undercuts it. Couldn't come up with the INT, unfortunately, but regardless, is still a great play. This one, I can't really call this one IQ and awareness because he does go out of bounds at the 1 yard line there, which obviously is a questionable choice. Should have just, went for the touchback and got it at the 20. But regardless, that's a great play that not a lot of safeties are making. This one, a lot of safeties could make, but you're going to see just look at the freak athleticism as he takes it back. What is this going to be, 40 yards, juking out offensive linemen, making them look silly until he's ultimately brought down. Just a playmaker, that I hope is the takeaway that you guys have here. Derwin James, when healthy, can be, I would say, the best playmaking safety in the league. And in that regard, it's just, again, going to be a question of what Derwin James are we getting in 21, and I'm excited to see, because hey, if we see even 90% of the guy that we saw when he was a first team All-Pro rookie, I think he's a guy that jumps back up on my list, right? Maybe not into the top 20s, top 30s, top 40s, but he could return to a spot in the 60s or 50s, no question. If he's a guy though that either doesn't play very well or misses more time, God forbid, knock on wood, he's going to be a guy that I have to drop off the list though, right? Because it's only so long that you can sell hope. And in that regard, I think that now it's the time that the rubber meets the road for Derwin. But I'm incredibly excited to see just what that road brings. But if you want to see what the road brings on my channel here in the future, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you're always in the loop with my future uploads. Because for today, I'm mic'd up, now I'm mic'ing out. Peace, guys. I'll see you next time.